Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me.
Benchmark. They're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. That rapper jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Sean Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. I ain't taking the L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. You glad the seats, now it's on the grow. Tuning now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my butter blow.
I ain't seen from now. Wow, she was really. I'm just trying to tell you.
Next my podcast. What's up, bro? Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob ENT podcast. As y'all can see, we got a full crew here tonight. We got some new people, some guests on. We're gonna start off with the usuals. Greg, Mr. Hot Takes, Debate Your Mother Sends Me. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm hanging in.
Chris, CJ Moneybags is back in the building on his Kanye. He's blessing us with his presence.
Please.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. It's good to be back. It's been a little minute since I got to your crib.
It wasn't a comparison. It was a embracing of knowing what you're worth and you're deserving. Like, so
That's
honestly,
fair.
you feel me? Like, anytime you do show up anywhere, you should be like on Kanye level. Like, yo, me being here is a blessing. I don't have to be here.
That's facts. You know what? Y'all should be blessed right now.
Exactly. Take that mentality. And we have special guests. My sis going all the way back to middle school, Roosevelt middle school days. Good Lord. Maya is in the building. How you doing tonight?
I'm good.
And of course, y'all already know, if y'all don't know, in the Bench Mob family, I am a married, happily man. And we have Queen Nikki is in the building tonight. Whoa. Speaking to the mic.
Hello.
All right, so y'all liked what we did last week where we talked about some keys to make a relationship, friendship work. So we decided to continue it. And the discussion, the topic tonight is, how important is looks when choosing your significant other? And where do we rank that for each person? So we're going to start off with our guest, Maya. Talk to us. How important is looks? Where does it rank in your mind when choosing somebody?
So, looks are important. It's not the most important thing, but it has to be important because I have to be attracted to you. If I'm not attracted to you,
Preach.
then it's not gonna work. But after a while, the looks aren't as important if your personality sucks, if you're boring, or you're a horrible person.
So in regards to when you're looking for somebody, where does that rank of your importance? Like, is that 1A, 1B, top 2, 3 things that's important that you need?
It's at the top, but it's not the most important thing.
It's not the most important thing. Greg, Mr. Hot Take, sends me a talk to you, baby.
I mean, since we brought this up in the chat, all I can think to myself is, yo, if you're going into a situation in a relationship or just looking into being with someone, and the main thing you're focused on is their looks, this ain't gonna go very far, and it's not gonna go very, very far. So I always, my life, like, personality is the most important thing. I will say that blatantly clear. Now that don't mean that looks don't matter. Yes, looks, of course looks matter. The first thing you see is looks. If I see a hoopty, but it runs like a Ferrari, the fact that it's a hoopty is probably gonna win out. I'm not gonna want to drive it. But in all seriousness, like, when you meet somebody, like, it's so important that they're a good person. More important than the way they look, more important than anything else like that, because I only want to deal with good people in my life, period. Especially if I'm thinking about being with someone in a romantic way. Nah, like,
Yeah.
It's a more intimate relationship. It's more intimate than being friends, anything like that. So easily, I would say that, looks are important, but personality is a clear one, because, again, long term, like, if this person isn't who you thought they were, you'll find out. You'll know.
Yeah, look, if you're only concerned with looks being the main factor, then that's cool for sneaky links. But if you try and do something like,
True.
if you try and do something like long term and it's a serious relationship, then nah. But if you just trying to, hit it, quit it, get your squirrels off, then hey, looks is the only thing that mattered, I guess, because you ain't trying to have nothing substantial. Queen, Nikki, talk to us. Where it is at for you in your process of dating and then meeting this old boy right here? You feel me? Like, what was your mindset in that?
For me, personality is a big thing. And then looks. It's always been a thing for me. Personality's always been big for me. So that's my, thing.
Yeah, man. I think when you think about it, you got to think about the entire package. And when you're ready to make that step to decide, like, if you want to be with somebody, it can't just be about the looks, because people don't look the same way forever. People age. People ain't gonna hold the same body weight their whole life and things like that. And one thing that you got to think about too is there's always going to be someone that's more attractive than what you got, right? And that's okay. People are gonna, if I'm looking at so and so, like let's say I'm with so and so, and I see someone else, I'm like, damn, she's cute too. She's, she looks better than my girl. Like, you're always gonna be chasing after the next, shiny thing, shiny new object, and you can't live life like that. It has to come down to personality at the end of the day, because you have to enjoy spending time with that person and still be content with what you got, right? Greg and Ariana might pull up the prom, right? They might be the flyest couple and all that. That's cool. They can have that. Me and Lindsay might pull up the prom too. We might not be the flyest, but we're going to look good. We're going to be fine, and I'm going to be content with that. As long as I'm happy with what I got, that's all that matters.
Yo, it's too funny that you said that, because when we had this week, we was in Bible study, and the discussion that was in there was talking about, like in Song of Solomon, Proverbs, where it says to enjoy your person, enjoy who you with. It talks about that in the Bible, of not looking elsewhere. Enjoy your wife of her youth. Obviously, everybody not married that's watching this, but it even mentions in the Bible, and we know the grass is greener where you water it. So that's a huge, the grass is greener where you water it. So that's a huge factor in there. I want to ask y'all this though. So you kind of alluded to it, right? Do y'all think, and whoever want to go first can answer this, when you get into a serious relationship, don't even have to be marriage, when you get into a relationship, right? Do you think that you and said person should have to keep up those looks on some level once y'all start dating? Because we see sometimes people get comfortable and like, I got you now. I don't got to keep working out. I don't got to keep doing this. Life happens. Things happen. Do you think on some level, in some degree, that to their best of their ability, looks should be upkept?
I think that's the thing right there. I think it's to the best of their ability. I don't think they need to go out of the way or do anything special than what they've already done for you to be attracted to them in the first place. But one thing to keep in mind is, like Greg said, the first thing you see is looks, right? And obviously something caught your eye, something attracted you to them in that first place. So and the same goes for the man. Like, I try to make sure that I look good, and I don't go out of my way, but I try to make sure, that I got a haircut, because I know, like, I don't want to be looking sloppy and things like that. Obviously, we all have flaws and things like that. We all stop working out at times, motivation dwindles and things of that nature. But I think, people that take pride in their appearance, that's an attractive quality. And again, that's probably one of the qualities that attracted you to them in the first place, is you saw, wow, this person's well kept. They take care of themselves. They have,
good hygiene.
Yeah, that's all that it comes down to. I don't think, look, people are going to gain weight. People are going to lose weight. People are going to gain muscle. People are going to lose muscle. If you just too focused on that, then, you're going to lose sight of what's really important. But I think good hygiene is a great way to put it.
You got to brush your teeth day one and then the last day too.
Yeah.
Brush your tongue.
Brush
that tongue.
Brush your tongue.
Relationship with water and soap.
Yeah.
So Repeat the question for me one more time.
Should looks be upkept to a certain degree?
I think so, because I say that because two things. One thing, what are you bringing to the table? And why do you feel that you need to not upkeep yourself? Why do you feel like you just could slack off just because you're with someone? And the other thing is, you always have to remember that you're doing this for you and then for who you're with. So I know for me, I work out, like I try and stay active or whatever, so that when my wonderful husband right here sees me, he's excited, whatever. So it's about, you think about yourself first, but then you also think about the other person. And I think it should go both ways. I think a conversation should be had amongst, whoever you're with. When someone gets pregnant, her body changes. And so I think it has to be realistic goals being set, like, oh, you don't look the way you looked back when we first got married or whatever. And you just have to be you also have to be honest with yourself and honest with your partner about these things. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Honestly, a lot of it is you should want to do it for yourself. And if in the process the other person likes it, they like it, but you should more so do it for yourself. It doesn't really matter so much about what the other person thinks. You should want to take care of yourself no matter what.
Facts. I mean, this kind of goes to, she's here right now. She's not hopping on the episode, but she mentioned this last week. It was the title of the last week's episode. Don't lose yourself in love. You have to still love you at the end of the day. And if you loving you to your best ability, it'll shine through, and the other person, you can love them better. I think I agree with y'all 100%. It's kind of circumstantial, right? So it's different if, hey, I had a child and things happen, but what I'm alluding to, and I think what you guys are alluding to, don't you get into a relationship and you just say, hey, I'm good now. That's different. You just, I did everything to get you. I made sure I was in the gym 2-3 times a day. I was doing this. I was eating right. I was having salads. And then you get into the relationship and like, yeah, I'm about to have me cheeseburgers every day this week. Cheeseburger Monday, Taco Tuesday. I'm going to have me pizza on Wednesday. On Thursday, I'm getting wings and fries. Nah. I think you still have to do what you did to get the person throughout the whole time. And this is just, to me, relationships, period. Like, I'm not even talking marriage, because a lot of y'all that watch it aren't married and y'all ain't ready for marriage. Trust me, it's different. It's levels. It's different. It's really different. It's levels to that. Greg, talk to me, man. What's your thoughts on that, of the upkeep in a relationship?
No, it's so funny. We have a panel of people this big on a podcast. Someone gonna say what you have to say before you say it. So I already, y'all said it already. I mean, I was gonna say, you gotta do it for you. You gotta do it for you. You gotta want to do this. But that, I think you also know this before you get into a relationship. You know who a person is. Like, like you said, you can see, like I think Chris said it. Like, if you can see when someone takes care of themselves and they have pride in that, and you already know that, so it's not gonna change, because it wasn't about you. I wasn't looking good for you. Yes, like I just looked good on my own. Like, I just did things look good on my own, or or maybe they played a sport and they were active in that way, and they're just used to staying active, right? But like, it should be about you and what you enjoy, right? At the end of the day, and the other person should know that. It's at the end of the day, it comes out of communication, though. Communication. I mean, if you guys gotta talk, about it. I gotta be open about it, and in a way that the other person can respect and can take in a reasonable manner. Don't be like, yo, you look crazy. What's good with you? Like, you don't want to be saying that, but like, that's
how I be coming.
Yeah, I know how you be coming.
Yeah, you gotta say
it. The podcast.
You got to say it in love, of course. You got to be respectful of the other person's feelings.
I can't even imagine myself being that dude. I can't, like, for real. Like, and maybe it's because I'm in a relationship. I've been in one for so long, right?
I know, y'all got time on time.
You have time on time.
Time on time. So they about to get married. So to fill you in, because everybody else know, to fill you in, they getting married 2023, right? but they've been together for about like 18, 19 years. Like
19 years since the womb, I've been doing that.
like this was God ordained from the womb, from straight preschool together, everything. Like they've been together for a minute. Like she know his social security number. Like they good.
Well, I'm saying I can't imagine having that conversation with someone just because, again, like I coming into the relationship, I know you took either I know you were like taking care of yourself, or I know you didn't. Like, you know what I mean? And again, anything else that happens outside of that is circumstantial. If just an accident or something happens in life, things happen, crazy stuff happens. You can't work out the same, whatever. Your appearance changes. If you're talking about that and you say anything out of pocket, you're just I ain't gotta say what you are. You know what you are. Facts. So it's just it's know your partner, man. Know who you're with, because if you know who you're with, then this is a conversation you can really avoid, or you can really have more in a more tasteful manner. That's really, it boils down to that. But do it for you.
Of course, Nikki be catching me all the time. I look in the mirror, I know too from school. I'll be in the mirror, I'll be like, God dang, God took his time with me. I love me some me. Now, of course, when Nikki be like, yeah, you look good, that's an added plus. Of course, that's an added plus, of course. But I love me first. And I'm, again, being honest with yourself. I could look at myself and be honest, like, yo, you tripping, bro. You it's too many days you've been out that gym. Oh, nah, bro. You can't be having no cookies at night. Nah, so you're gonna have to cut out sweets for a little bit. That's the other thing too, when it comes down to this looks aspect. Again, a part of loving yourself, and before the other person comes to you, you should be able to be honest with yourself and be like, hey, you slipping, Tone.
Yeah.
Hey, you slipping. And I think what happens sometimes, we get comfortable in the relationship. We get comfortable with the person, especially with them for a while. You get comfortable, hey, you know how I look, this, that, and the third. You ain't, especially once you get to the part you talking about marriage too. It's like, look, you ain't going nowhere. And you get comfortable in that. Like, you not going nowhere until the person decides they want to go somewhere. You feel me? Like, you don't want it to get to that point where you get comfortable and you stop doing what you did to get with the person, right? So you continue to go on dates. You continue to do that stuff to keep we heard our parents say it and generations before that, you got to keep the fire alive. That ain't no joke. That ain't no joke. And for those that's not married yet, in your relationship still, whatever you did to keep that thing popping and hot and whatnot, you got to keep it going. You can't just be down like, date night, what's that? No, you still got to do date night. Right. You still got to do surprises. You still got to make sure you touch on their love language. Greg, Chris, Maya, Nikki, whoever want to answer this one. When it came to that, though, in your process growing up, even now, so we mentioned looks, we mentioned personalities. Do you believe in having a type? Like, yo, this person has to fit this. Did you have a list of like, hey, I need 6'4" dark chocolate, long hair? Like, where was that at with you? You had a list? Do you have a type, or was it really just, do we fit?
I'm gonna go first. So for me, I had a list. I'm gonna be very honest. You ask God, you need to be real specific about what you want, because He will give you what you want. He gave me Antonio, and I was very specific about what I wanted. And I wasn't like, you put things on your list, and some things are deal breakers, and others is like, this person needs to have this. And for me, it was, he needed to be a man of God. He needed to know how to cook. He needed to be a hard worker. He needed to be Black. He needed to be taller than me. Like, it's just little stuff like that. I also had on my list that he needs to sing. My husband does not know how to sing, but that wasn't a deal breaker for me. So it was just like things like,
you still be singing.
Yeah. So it I had a list, but at the same time, like, it was about when I would look at the list of what was more important to me, Antonio, he checked off all those things on my list. So yeah.
Just to let y'all know, she's straight capping. I'm really out here. I can really sing. Like,
you got them pipes.
For real. Like, if I really, Faith Temple Church members, when y'all watch this, but I need that trophy that I had. I was a choir member of the year 20. I graduated 2011. I was choir member of the year 2007. So you don't just get that just because you can't sing. Like
It's
you know,
okay,
I drink a lot of coffee, so my voice
Your
moves
voice
different.
changed too.
My voice
Yeah.
changed different. I got a
Yeah.
little.
Women are both looking at you like, what are you talking about?
Y'all capping. I really
What we're not
like
gonna do is that.
really do that.
Go ahead, Greg.
But
Chris, just go ahead.
Nah, I think for
Robert all of a sudden.
yeah. Boy, think he Usher. Nah, but for real, I never had like a list, but I looked for qualities that I found in myself that I like that would be nice if somebody else shared those same qualities. I was an athlete growing up. I was always attracted to females that played sports, females that were athletes, females, again, because athletes take care of themselves for the most part.
Zion excluded.
Nah, but again, I really never had a list in terms like that. Similar to Nikki, I was someone that grew up going to church and someone that believed in God. So wanted someone that shared those same qualities as well. And I also grew up in a big family. I was really close with my family. So anyone that came from, they didn't have to have a huge family, but it was important to me that they were close with their family. I grew up with people that, talked horrible about their family and like they didn't have that relationship. And that kind of like disgusted me in a way, not because of their situation, but the fact that you can talk so badly about people that are so close to you. And I knew that like, there was girls that were definitely looks wise, they were on it, they were cute, but like they didn't have that relationship that I was looking for with their family.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that's not someone that I could bring home to my mother because my mother would be like, where'd you find her at?
Maya. He got to be 6'5".
No,
Tall, dark, and handsome, honey. You looking at him?
I wouldn't say I have a type.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a list. But I'll say again, like certain qualities that certain things I want, like I would say more the things like I know from being in relationships in the past, like things that I would give people, and I want somebody that can give me the things that I would give somebody else. And that's usually more so what it is than necessarily like what exactly they look like.
Gotcha. Makes sense. For me, I didn't have a list either. I just knew I'm getting better in that of writing stuff down, but I just knew what I wanted, what I needed. Again, like you said, from past relationships, we've had these discussions in high school and college. Boy was going through some nonsense growing up, and I thank God ended up with my wife Nikki, and thank God I'm not a daddy. So it was Maya knows a very bad decisions I made from relationships, them early days. But from the bad experiences, I learned lessons, and from that, I was able to create what I wanted and what I knew I needed. Now, what I wanted wasn't as important as what I needed, and Nikki checks every single box of what I need: the support, the love, the praying for me, the caring about me, the motivation, the hey, you need to be doing this, hey, you need to be doing that, hey, I'm proud of you, all that type of stuff that I actually need. That's what she covers that. So that's how I viewed it. Greg, any last words to close us out on this topic? You got the floor. You gonna close us out.
Like I said, when you go through the entire panel, you come to me. But
first time I ever heard Greg speechless.
I didn't have a list either. I didn't have a list either. I didn't have any set of physical traits that I really followed. I really thought about when I was, single. Never. It was more about who the person was, and not so much about their physical qualities. Like it was that I knew. I was looking for a bit of myself in the person I'd be with, just in the humanity I have and the empathy I have for people, and the understanding I have for people. If you have those things, like this thing can work out. Now, and then everything else starts mattering, like looks and all that stuff. But it was never about race or height or build or. I mean, subconsciously those things come into effect. I think subconsciously, I didn't think about it though. I think subconsciously we all have it too. I think subconsciously we all have something we're looking for, but we don't think about it from a physical trait perspective. We, like there may be.
I'm gonna keep it a stack. I did. It was certain things I was not going.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's for some people it's more subconscious than for others. Like for you, it was like, nah, I'm not going for that. But for me, it was been like definitely. I seen that. I'm like, I don't know why. But I'm not rocking with this. Like, I don't know why,
Nah, it was certain things that I definitely was like, nah, I want her to have this. I want her to have that. Like, it was definitely.
You know what you were attracted to. I knew when I saw someone or saw
Ariana.
The one, right?
The one,
like
for a while, the one.
Yeah, right. Like what made your heart flutter? Like what made it happen?
Oh, he talking about the fluttering.
Yeah, it's fluttering. Everybody goes through some flutters, bro.
She's not paying no mind to you right now.
It's okay. That's okay. But no, you know you know what it is. Like exactly what makes you get to that place where you feel you can seriously see yourself with somebody. And that's all it was for me. It was never. I didn't have a list though. I didn't. It was never that specific. No, it ain't like that.
Do we agree with the 80-20 rule? I'm an Athlete podcast talked about it, where obviously in a lot of circumstances the person isn't gonna be 100% of what you want, right? But personality wise, looks wise, and things like that. But hopefully to make a successful marriage work, and I know they were talking about from a marriage perspective, right? So maybe this doesn't even apply to a lot of our viewers, but to make the relationship work, do we agree that you find 80% of what you enjoy about them, and you can deal with maybe 15-20% that you don't enjoy?
I think it's facts, because I'm gonna be completely honest. Me and Nikki don't like everything about me, and I don't like everything about Nikki. But the majority of it, I got no problems with. It's straight love. It's straight great times. But for you, I think that's unrealistic. And I think something that Greg said is good too, where he said he didn't really look into the aspect of physical traits. Mm-hmm. And the time that we live in, that's so, I think, hard to do for some of the kids growing up.
I think that's all they look at.
Exactly. She got to have triple D's. Like, I was talking to one of these younger people like a couple years ago. He wanted a girl that had basically the biggest breasts in the world. She had a big butt, no waist, and she had long hair. And I'm like, realistically, you looking at these IG models, then that's paid for. That realistically,
you can blame social media for about everything nowadays.
You're talking about it from a looks perspective. When you hear 80-20 rule, I think about it like, any two people that come together, there's gonna be conflict, because you are not the same person, and if you are the same person, it ain't gonna work. You need someone that's gonna challenge you.
That's what
Ariana challenges me. You need someone that
she
challenges
testing you.
No, not in that way, but like in a way where there's things I don't look. My personality is very like, I'm an introvert. Like I play basketball. I work.
Hey yo,
I do.
Bench mob, we appreciate.
I'm an introvert.
We appreciate Greg so much, because he's an introvert and he really be out here giving y'all takes.
It's true. I'm an introvert. I'm not really. I don't really like people like that.
We on the same page.
Ask Ariana. She'll tell you. Ariana will tell you. Like I come on here. I just love talking about sports. I'm just passionate about talking about sports, and I happen to be able to communicate. But I don't like people like that. Like I wasn't the person that had a million friends growing up. That wasn't me. So. And I don't really pop out places. I wasn't really the party goer growing up and all that stuff. So like,
but he did pop out recently. Him and Ariana, and they shut down Instagram. they shut it down. I might have to play that clip specifically and play that that Drake song in the background. You can shut it down.
You go with the singer.
You're right.
But what you alluded to, I wasn't saying looks. I was saying in general, like because of social media, we go into it a lot of times looking at these relationships thinking they're perfect. The thing I loved about Nick, we was on the same page with this, and we'll close. It was like everybody be talking. It really pisses me off. People like, oh, they relationship goals. You don't know what the heck goes on in that relationship. Talking about that's your goal.
Right. That Jada and Will love, right?
Yeah, I want that Jada and Will love. All right, so you want 4 other people in the bedroom. You gonna be able to deal with that?
Always I'll see none.
You feel me? Like, be your own relationship goals.
You want to be Zendaya and Tom Holland? You want Zendaya to be
grabbing your hip.
You leading him to the future.
When I dip, you dip. Nah, but yeah, you have to, I think, embrace your relationship and make your own relationship your relationship goals.
It's about you.
Focus on y'all, build with y'all, do what y'all need to do to be great and be the best individuals that y'all need to be. And y'all know this though, if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Bench Mob, we out. Peace.